I'm Jason Haynes from Nostrum High Performance. I want to talk a little bit about our testing capabilities here. We've been in business in 2016 and we've made some continuous improvements since that time. But during COVID, we really decided to focus a lot on making some improvements to our quality control and testing capabilities, along with our products themselves. And a key part of some of those quality control and testing improvements was this asset here right next to me. So this test stand was made for us by a company called Michigan Custom Machines right here in Michigan. Really good to have a local company that's able to support us and build exactly what we wanted. So this machine was built directly to our specifications to meet the SAE test requirements of GDI fuel injectors. It's designed to be able to test up to 350 bar. It's actually been package protected to go all the way to 500 bar, but the pump that we've got in it right now will only go to 350 bar. We can test all the way up to 120 grams a second, or roughly 10,000 cc's a minute in flow rate. And every single injector we run from a development standpoint or a production standpoint gets run through this machine. To give you an idea of the accuracy and precision of this control system, we're able to hold pressure to within 0.5% throughout the entire test range, basically from 5 bar all the way up to 350 bar. And that's to meet the SAE requirements that this machine was designed to meet. When we test an injector, we're achieving over 720 data points for every injector. So we're generating a lot of data on every injector. We do all of our production parts and our development parts through here. Our production parts, we're testing for the correct length to make sure that the injector's been assembled properly. We're testing for seal integrity, make sure all the O-rings are on the injector. We're testing for leaks. We're testing for tip leakage at multiple pressures. We're doing a pressure decay type leakage test as well. We're doing a gross leak, again, just to make sure that seal integrity is good. We're checking for resistance, inductance, and continuity. And then we also test for static and dynamic flow. So for dynamic flow, we're testing at multiple pressures and multiple pulse widths, including simulating an idle pulse width and a wide open throttle full load pulse width. For the other dynamic tests, we're testing at multiple pressures and multiple pulse widths to check for the linearity of the injector and the full range of the flow that the injector is going to operate at, very similar to the way it's going to be in the vehicle. We're also simulating the exact trace of how that injector is driven in the vehicle. We duplicate that here on the test stand. So we in vehicle scope out what the drive current is going to look like, and then we mimic that with the drive control that's built into this machine. So again, we're testing the injector just like it would be in the vehicle. So as I mentioned earlier, we do dynamic testing. We also do static testing at multiple pressure points. And all those dynamic and static tests are all repeated 3 times. And then the machine is actually monitoring the flow rate continuously during each of those tests, and then the data between the tests. And we're comparing each of them to each other, checking what's called the standard deviation of those within the test and between the tests to make sure the machine operating properly and the injector's operating properly. Then we also check opening and closing time, max flow and max pressure. And then we check all those against each other. And we've got a proprietary batching algorithm where we go back and we now have all that data from all these different injectors in our database, and we group the injectors by similar characteristics so that all of your cylinders are operating evenly and consistently to make calibration that much easier, drivability that much better. Every injector is QR coded. So with the QR code, we offer full traceability of the injector. We scan the injector here when it goes to the machine, and then all that data is now stored in our database by that injector. And if we need to look up an injector 2 years from now, we can look up exactly that injector and every piece of data for that particular injector. So that's really a summary of what we've got here on this test asset for our GDI injectors. We've got a very similar asset for testing our PFI injectors. And then in 2022, we plan to bring some of our other test stats for our high pressure fuel pumps and low pressure fuel pumps and some of our other components up to the same level of capability and traceability that we've got here to those assets. If you want to know more about these products and our full capabilities, go to www.nostrumshop.com. Check us out.